Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Land Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. We'll start with Team 1 on the northeastern side, also known as the red team. And then we'll end with Team 2 on the southwestern side, also known as the blue team. Starting off with Team 1's isolated player on the eastern side, we have in Chevy Crimson. It is the Aeon of Ctrl-K. We'll see if he Ctrl-Ks or causes somebody else to Ctrl-K. He is a 21 or 4 rated. He is the highest rated player on Team 1 and barely beats out Team 2's highest rated player for the highest rated player overall. To his west, we have in orange on the front line, it is Strogo. He's playing as a Seraphim. He is an 1872 rated. And behind him on the northern edge of the map, it is MachinaBellatrix. He is an Aeon. He is a 1504 rated. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have an Aeon over here. They have a Seraphim over there. And then they have another Aeon back on the northern edge, which means Team 1 lacks UEF and Cybern technology. Moving on to Team 2's isolated player on the southern tip of the map, it is Drimer. He's playing as UEF. He is a 2079 rated. He is the highest rated player on Team 2. To his north, starting with the frontline player, at least on the western side for Team 2, it is Vaswam1 playing as a Cybern. He is an Amethyst Purple as a 1749 rated. And then last but not least for Team 2, closer to the western edge of the map, it is Khal. He is a Cybern as well. He is a 1702 rated. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 Cyberns in the northwest and then a UEF in the south, which means Team 2 has what Team 1 lacks, and Team 1 has what Team 2 lacks, which means every faction is represented on this side of the map. Again, 2 Aeon and 1 Seraphim, and then on Team 2, it's 1 UEF and 2 Cybern over there on that southwestern side. So again, every faction represented, not on each team. Numerically, that's not even possible anyways, but at least everybody's represented at a bare minimum, which is nice to see. And for these 6 players on the map, before they scoop it all up, let's take a look at their recon situation. Currently sitting at 16,000 mats. Let's round it up to 18 because it's been at least a couple of minutes since the start of the game, which means it is 3,000 mats per player, which is definitely a nice amount of mass to see each player have. And in terms of major clumpages, honestly, the most part actually resides in the northeast and southwestern corners, which is on Team 2 and Team 1 side of the map. So really no fighting over that. There is some reclaim a little bit more down the middle, but not really a whole lot there anyways. Maybe we'll see a transport trying to drop off engineers one side or the other side sort of thing, trying to deny or scoop up reclaim or something like that. But at a bare minimum, there is reclaim to be had for at least some players if they decide to choose to do that. We do see gun upgrades starting here for Team 2's Vaswam, and it's done with that upgrade. Same thing with Strogo for Team 1. In terms of comm distribution, they're facing off in the middle of the map. First comm-to-comm action occurs between those two. To the north, Team 2's Khal is pushing heavily into Team 1's territory for Bellatrix, 1v1 there. And then in the east, there's going to be 1v1 over there between Drimer and Ctrl-K. And it does look like there could have been another player that started in this location, but it decided to be a 3v3 instead of a 4v4. Strogo and Vaswam drop into the yellow, both constantly trading blows while their units face off against one another. So both of them pretty much denying veterancy to each other. We do see a little bit more for Vaswam, not by a whole lot though, to be honest, but looks like Strogo might catch up a little bit. Couple of Mantis move into range of Strogo's comm. He gets one of those kills, and looks like things are going to back off a little bit, at least for now. And in terms of additional mexes on the map, again, this looked like it could have been a starting location for 2 players, 1 on each side. So there's 5-star mech positions there for both teams. They went to the eastern players, which makes sense because they're on the eastern side of the map. And then in terms of additional mexes besides those, really there's like no mexes on the map. There's a couple up here to the north. That's about it. There's a couple of one-offs. That's about it. And same thing, of course, mirrored in the southeast. So, I mean, the mechs count kind of low. The reclaim will be nice initially and then scooped up as the game goes on. So not as nice. So players are definitely going to be scrambling for any sort of mass efficient way to either destroy their opponents, survive, build stuff up, not build stuff up, whatever they want to decide. It's very much a tight budget here for these players. We do see Strogo and Voss still moving back and forth, but it is starting to look like Voss has the advantage for now because he's constantly pushing. It could be a false sense of security, luring the middle player here for Team 2 towards the north and then maybe collapsing on top of that one side or the other, but it looks like both of those players on Team 1 are kind of distracted doing other things, so you know, we have Drimer being shot at by some floating Aurora. There are a little bit of pawns that kind of offers a little bit of some advantages to the Aeon and Seraphim side of things because they have more hover tech. But Team 1's Strogo kills off Vosswam as Vosswam was pushing in. He pushed in with a set of units on either side. It just was too much to handle, and he ended up being killed off by Strogo. So nice grab there. Again, he kind of lured him by himself into a false sense of security and went nah-uh, and then blew him up. Looks like there is an Ilshi emerging as well, so maybe he used that to his advantage. T2 upgrade starting here for him to get some hit points back on board his comm, and of course maybe building some PD to defend himself in the middle. We do see Team 1 heavily pushing back Machina, heavily pushing back Khal. Machina's doing the pushing. Khal does not have upgrade, and Machina does, so it is favoring Team 1 on this western front until he can get to safer territory. The base, once belonging to Voss, does go to Drimer. It will most likely be handed over to Khal at some point because he's on that side of the map, but for now it stays within the hands of Drimer, being the highest rated player on Team 2. We do see gun upgrade started for Ctrl-K, the highest rated player of the game. He might go for speed. He honestly might even go for sensor package, considering that'd be a nice advantage to just have a bunch of vision on that side of the map as he runs around and whatnot. He can even hide in the ponds and just get more vision as well. So we may see that. T2 upgrade started here for Drimer. On the eastern side, maybe a precursor to missile, maybe even a precursor to the Billy Nuke. I think I need one more precursor in there. Maybe it's only 2. Anyway, maybe we'll see a missile out from him. Team 1 Strogo can also go for missile, but not Billy Nuke. We do see a couple of more hover tech units on the field here for Team 1's Ctrl-K. Again, really trying to annoy Team 2 as much as possible, using that little direct line as a way to either go that way or that way. It's nice to have that option. Or just push directly southward and just kind of do random things. We do see a couple of units moving on the eastern side. Again, it's really just about soaking up all of that APM and really essentially just bleeding Drimer dry in terms of everything. In terms of mexes, in terms of everything, just getting rid of it as much as he can. We do see, again, in terms of eco-wise, it's as close as it possibly can be without it being tied. Very, very close. Hey, look at that. It was tied for a brief second between those two teams. So, again, very close game, except for Team 1 being in the lead for comms alive for now. 3v2 in their favor. Machina going for the T2 upgrade on board his comm, get a little bit more hit points, maybe building some PD at least on that vector. Again, Team 2's Cybern players do not have access to hover tech. They can get units in and out of the water, just not over the water in terms of hover. And then the UEF side of things, they have the Riptide, and that is it. So Team 1 has a nice advantage. Blazes, Yenzine, Flak, Aurora, Zooey, just a lot more to their advantage. The shields, the mobile shields, 10,000 hit points. Those things are annoying to deal with. They're like a bulwark, but they can go on land. And they have more hit points, at least in terms of their shielding. TT upgrade is done. He's already planning some defenses there now. Middle of the map, not looking great. Corsairs coming in to snipe all the... Actually, interesting enough, not going after the comm, going after the flak and the mobile flak as well, and the Ilshis as well, which means that lines up a shot quite nicely to go after Strogo's comm. And again, you take out the stuff that can shoot at you, and then you shoot at everything else. And good luck, Bob's your uncle, whatever. Whoa, that was an interesting overcharge. It kind of did this nice little corkscrew maneuver there. Corsairs still punishing Strogo, saying, absolutely not. You're not going anywhere near the middle of the map again. Go back in the water. Can he even get underneath the surface? Yes, he can. Is that enough to save him? He might be able to still be ground fired. I don't know if the AoE is wide enough to be able to hit him. but he is going to get into the yellow here shortly. There's the nano repair upgrade I was going to say. He's going to get that up sooner rather than later because, again, he is very much hurting on that side of the map, being the middle side of the map, I guess. We do see a little bit of build-up here on the eastern side for Ctrl-K. Again, the calm of Drimer is here. Gun and T2 in hand, building some PD to defend himself. Radar system as well. Needs to get a T2 one somewhere. Probably would be satisfied with just building a T2 radar there, get most of the map. Corsairs going in for the T3 land headquarters, almost grab it in one pass. And then we have some interceptors here trying to do what their namesake calls for, reclaiming the Pigeon so it doesn't blow up. But again, the target, it's going to be... No, they don't fully go after it, but it looks like they did get it eventually. It looks like he grabbed a... What did he grab there? Another facility? Oh, a Pigeon. Grabbed a P... Ooh, that's rough. Grabbed a T3 Pigeon at that. Going after a T2 Mex. Trying to snipe away at all the eco on the eastern side of the map. Most of the Corsairs have been dealt with. It looks like we have some Swift runs inbound from the west from Bellatrix to assist. Another T2 Mex dead. Another T2 Mex dead. So this secondary main base is now, for the most part, offline. And it does give the eastern side a little bit more of a break. Be able to maybe push in a little bit more. Again, there's not really anything to take relatively in the middle of the map. Maybe a couple of mexes if you count that. But again, value-wise, it's not a lot. It's something. It's not a lot, but it's something. 10k mass says Voss, talking about the units around him. Oh, these Strogo. Definitely going to be concerned about that. Drimer does go for missile. That is the precursor to the precursor of the missile. So it is 3 precursors. I was like, wait, I think it is 3. Yeah, there's 3. And then we have Ilshi's starting to roam a little bit more here. We have more flak kind of holding station behind the comm as the Corsairs come to snipe him. They will pass over the flak and get shot at. Missile inbound, not for the comm, but for the facility. But unfortunately, in 2 ways, there is a shield online and there's a TMD. The missiles do split. They hit the shield, but they don't do a lot of damage. And between the time that the second missile would be able to be fired and fly over there, the shield will either fully regen or be very close. So it's going to be a very long war of attrition, if not a full-out just stopgap. We do see blazes engaging pillars, and the comm of Drimer is over here again, not looking terribly great. There is a couple of harbingers here. T3 land is being rebuilt, I would surmise, and T3 air. So switching it up entirely, we might actually not go back to land, at least for now. Saying, hey, you killed off my land facility. Psych, I'm going to go for air now. Haha. We do see, couple of mech snipes here from Team 1. Did they get mercy? No, they would have been AoE'd a little bit more if they were mercied. So maybe just Team 1 bombers. Yeah, for the most part. I don't see 1,000 wreck anywhere. So it doesn't look like that was from a strat bomber. T3 air is online, though, so strat bombers were possible. That doesn't look like they happened, though. So a nice little counter maneuver by Team 1. Killing off mexes. Didn't kill off the T3 land headquarters. Killed off a couple of, mass storages and maybe some random Team 1 P-gens. But it's still a loss, but not as bad of a loss that was inflicted on Team 1 over here. And Team 1 has the eco lead pretty much in hand for now. 250 to about 190. It's about 60 to 70 mass roughly in their favor. Missile inbound going very high up first. It looked like I almost thought it was going to go this way, which looked a little awkward. But it's just because it's curving. And boop. Oh, no, that was an Aeon missile. Oh, because there's a loyalist there. That makes way more sense. It's from this mobile, this stationary missile launcher here, the Serpentine. And it serpentines because it does the snake. And absolutely nope, gets denied. The missile should be going right where it was launched, and there it goes. Nice grab there. Again, the unique ability of both the cruisers from the Cyberns and the loyalist of the Cyberns. But here comes those T3 land units. They are faster, they're not as strong as the bricks, but they do have EMP weapons, which do help out with pushing in to T1 and T2 armies with, of course, the not the suicide EMP, but the AoE death EMP from those loyalists. But we do see a couple of T1 and T2 PD being built and constantly being supported there by the shield as well. Pushes back those loyalists, say, nah, no, I'm not going to deal with you right now. Missile inbound. We have restores online. Going to go after that T2 Max. Nothing in Team D related territory to be able to pick that up, and it's dead anyway. And it's going to kill off that reclaim, and boop. So there it goes. We do see a units roaming around the eastern side for both teams. A couple of Percys moving in to intercept. That Percy does not look well. It's 50% health. It has halfway veterancy for T1. Oh, sorry, 1 star to be able to, again, not recharge, but regen. We have Strogo, a 4-star vet, T2, and gun with Nano. Loyalist from the north, Bricks from the east. Yeah, it's a lot of firepower. And again, he's underneath the surface of the waves. But again, the problem is those bricks, they have torpedoes on board. And I sense a kind of just walking into the pond and saying hi. Oh, look, he pops out of the pond for a second. He needs to get out of there. He needs to go to another pond. And I don't think he's going to get out of there that time. There he goes. And he is killed off by Team 2's Drimer. And it is now a tied game at 2v2. I can count 4 players left, 2v2 on each side, with missiles still raining in from Drimer's comm in the middle of the map, wiping out. Looks like AA emplacement. Yep, there goes that. Literally anything of value. I mean, radar systems would kind of be something of value as well. That does mean that Ctrl-K gets the base now over here, so he's on double base. His eco is sitting at 240, while Drimer's sitting at 170, with Khal at about 100, and then Bellatrix shortly behind that. So that could change as we have restores inbound. There is some AA in the area. These are swift wins. Are there any ASFs in the area? No, it's just T2. Those, what do they call those? Combat fighters. Yeah, I guess that would make sense because you have interceptors, combat fighters, and oh, shoot, I should know what ASF actually means. I say it so much. Oh, there they are. Air Superiority Fire. There it is. I was like, it's like, I'm drawing a blank there. It's where you say the acronym so much that you forget what the acronym actually means. And this restorers do get shooed away, but it's still concerning. They are going to roam the map. Looks like they're going to intercept this force. And pillars, Percys, Riptides, but not, if any, flak in the area to be able to deal with those. We do see skyboxers are inbound, and they're going to run into this nice little T2 and a couple of T3 unit army hanging out waiting for them to approach. Percys are going to demolish this army, to be honest, but the restorers are going to be a little bit more annoying to deal with. The skyboxers are going to push in. They should have been constantly moving in, but there's a decent amount of PD here. There's still firepower raining in from Team 1. Again, the PD is helping out a ton, doing a lot of the heavy lifting with the restorers in the air to assist as well. Flak is raining up above, and you can see it just constantly peppering that restorer to death. It's just seizing it over way too much to the point where it's even just unedible. Not edible? Unedible? Yeah, that's a word. And destroying them in the air and crashing them to the ground. T2 air, T3 land, T3 land. Okay, I thought that was a nuke. I was going to say, that's pretty early for ladder matches to go for a nuke. I mean, you can go that early. It may not go very well later on, but you could go for that early. And then T3 land. So no T3 air for Team 2. That is a glaring maybe flaw for Team 2, because again, we have 2 players. Both of them have T3 air tech. Both of them running around with restorers. I am slightly surprised no strats from either of those players. I mean, they know that Team 1 does not have Team 2 does not have T3 air, so you would think, oh, I'll just send a couple of strat bombers and wipe out their eco and call it a day. Haven't done that yet. I mean, they're going to use restorers, which again, restorers are nice. They did get a nerf, at least in terms of their AA power, so take that into consideration when you build them. I forget what game it was that I was made aware of that. It was commented by one of the players in the game while it was happening. They're like, oh yeah, the nerf, and they're like, oh, that's annoying. Because usually a lot of restorers is very difficult to deal with a bunch of ASFs, but it wasn't as difficult as it used to be, I guess. So take that into consideration when you build restorers. We have bouncers shooting at Aurora. That's kind of the definition of overpower unit being used not in the way it probably should be used. to kill off that at least. And yeah, that worked out. 26 minutes now on the clock. We have T3 air expansion a little bit here for Eastern player of Ctrl-K, and then Western player. Not as much expansion, but a heavy focus on one facility. We have Quantum Gateway starting to be appearing. Looks like an SACU RAS preset, and then maybe a Rambo preset. They might shift back and forth. That does allow him to be a little bit more variety filled, to be able to maybe like, oh, I have some eco to run around with, and now I have some very tanky units to run around with as well. We do see maybe a slowdown, at least on the eastern side. I think a lot of the focus is going to start favoring more this western side, I believe, just because we are having more units kind of punch in on that side. And just because the ASF, I mean, they've been flying around for a while now, and the restorers as well. T2, T3 air is definitely going to be built all around the place, especially since there was attack earlier. So it'd be kind of more worth it to go this way, just to go after a side of the map that's a little bit more vulnerable to air attacks. Again, we have more AA constantly being built. We do see Monkeywood is almost done for Team 2. First experimental of the game will be built. It is the cheapest one of the game, being at 20K even. And that's going to be built here very soon. Team 1, do we see anything being built on their front line? No chicken, no GC. And that's it, because that's all they have access to. Team 2 has the Monkeywood, the Crab, and the Fat Boy. I would like to see maybe a Fat Boy kind of dip in and out of the pond. If they could get it here, I think that might be within range roughly about there. So it could be able to push in a little bit more on that eastern front, knock that out, and then push northward just to kind of consolidate that front line, something about there. So we'll see. We'll see if he goes for Fat Boy or not. We do see he's sending in his bricks and his bouncers with a nice little banger in the mix. Don't see any deceivers in the mix to try to deceive his opponent. But he's doing his best to kind of roam around at least the exterior lines, kind of wiping out just random stuff. Again, a couple of Cradle T1 staging facilities for repairing, refueling, rearming, and overall just repairing those units. We have that SACU. It is a RAS preset. No firepower yet. Looks like that's maybe the next one. We do see Bellatrix doesn't have any more upgrades since last. T1 Bomber gets denied. He's going to die in those deniers and continue pushing maybe on that to western side. Monkeywood is moving in. It does have to be careful. If he's not aware of it now, he might be walking into his doom. And again, it's right about there. Team 1 needs to get eyes on it or have it walk into Omni range, because it does have a stealth field generator. So not only is it stealthed, but it's also stealthing units nearby. So without visual contact or Omni, you're not going to be able to see that coming. Definitely something to watch out for. And again, that Omni range should maybe see it now. Yep, there's the icon. They have no idea what it is, but some players know based on speed roughly the idea of what that could be. So they're like, oh, now we have eyes on it. It's a Monkeylord. Great. We have to deal with that now. Yep, there it goes. We do see, again, land units, not only AA units, which I'd love to see, but a couple of Loyalists to keep up with the Monkeywood to try to push in on that western front. 30 minutes on the clock. Again, both teams have lost a player. It was Voss that was killed first, so first blood to Team 1, with then Strogo being killed off about the, I think it was the 20-something minute mark. Strat Bomber is online, heavily damaged. Already killed off 6,700 mass. And Calm in the water, going to absolutely not get involved in that fight. The had laser, maybe. But you have to get the surprise on the Monkeywood first and get a nice overcharge in as well. Lots of things. That Monkeywood might as well be sent, actually just full send it straight in. Do as much maximum damage as you can to be able to wipe out at least one player's base. And then you're kind of only dealing with 2 players' bases instead of 3. We do see the Calm is going to pop out of the water, maybe overcharge that nice little Loyalist if it doesn't get out of range in time. The Monkeywood actually falls back. I feel like that's a missed opportunity. Ground units actually get targeted by the Strat Bombers, so that way a lot of the AA gets eliminated. So that way the Restorers can come in and come say hi. And here comes the Monkeywood to crash on the front line shield. Chicken is trying to be produced very quickly. The PD turnaround to face the Monkeylord. See, that's why I feel like they should have taken that out. That's a whole bait. That could have been gone instantly almost. Monkeywood taking tons of damage. Lots of offense and Restorers shooting at it. And there it goes. Wiped out some mexes, so it did do that, but could have wiped out mexes and a quantum gateway and a bunch of P-gens and a couple of A facilities. So, I mean, you gave him your base, says Khal. And he's complaining about that, it looks like. And, well, I mean, to be fair, this base wasn't handed over, so it's the same thing. I don't know. I don't exactly know what he means by that comment exactly. We do see units running on the southern side of the map here from Team 1. There is a Percy and a couple of PD waiting for them to approach. We do have another unit inbound. It's a nice little Rambo preset. 16,000 hit points with 26,000 shielding. And it has a couple of other upgrades on board. It has an AoE weapon, which is very nice for large armies to be dealt with. And there goes the slow demise of those Harbingers. There's one underneath, nice little shield emplacement. See that AoE doing decent work, killing off the Asylum. Then one T2 mechs will probably be lost. Honestly, that's probably going to be about it. Maybe some T3 engineers. Maybe they'll get that T2 PD online. They get one. That's probably going to be it. Everybody gets one, I guess. And a couple of Harbingers trying to block for the other two. There's a Blaze here. T1 PD now within range. Another T1 PD now within range. And there goes one, and there goes the other. And that is the end of that attack. So one mech's dead, a couple of engineers dead. I think Team 2 favors the reclaim more than loss of a T2 mech. I think that mech was being upgraded, so I think it's not as bad. It could have been worse. Could have been a T3 mech, but T2 mech is better being lost than a T3 mech. Strat's still hanging out on the ground there. I don't know what happened to that other one. Looks like it maybe died because it had veterancy, so it's definitely easily more spottable. But it must have flown over there. Oh, nope. Nah, that one's, nope, still just right off the assembly line. Didn't get any action. Still nothing over there. So we are seeing some strat bombers emerge, which I do like to see. Team 2 does still not have T3 air online. So you might as well use it, especially at 34 minutes on the clock. SMD, T3 air. I mean, it's I don't know. You might as well have an SMD at about... I mean, ladder matches, you can push it a little bit further back. Usually it's about 25 or so minutes for most custom games. Depending on the map, maybe 20 minutes. Dual gap being an example. You don't want anybody rushing for a nuke and then blowing up one or two bases, and then you're kind of just coasting the rest of the match till death. So, yeah, 25 minutes probably for most matches. 2 Monkey Woods now on the western side with a Megawatt soon to show up. One of them under control of Khal, one under control of Drimer. In terms of eco, things have kind of balanced out a little bit more, but Team 2 is now in the lead. Balancing it out. Team 2's in the lead. Team 1 was in the lead for roughly the same amount, maybe a little bit more, so it's not that much more of a lead, but it is still in favor for Team 2. Comm advantage is not anywhere in the program for now because both teams have lost one player, and they've lost the exact same position of player, being Strogo here and then Voss here. So let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Again, Team 1 is the only team in the game to have T3 air, and they have restorers and they have strats. We are starting to see them stack up a little. Oh, I didn't mean to cancel that. Stack up here and here. So that is a big thing to consider. And again, we do see a force stacking up here as well. It looks like Team 2 is going to engage that here shortly. So let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I know most of the ladder matches don't get as much coverage as the 1 hour plus just balls to the wall, bunch of nukes, bunch of everything else just being thrown at one another. If you have not seen yesterday's game, I cannot tell you how much crazy that game is. It is insane. The team who won, I can't even believe they won. Just absolutely like, oh, it's going to be fine. This team has it. They just have to... Nope. Maybe spoiler alert, maybe a little bit, but at that point in the game, you can see it. I was editing a little bit, and I was like, oh, I could see it coming. I just didn't see it coming in the video. I was like, yeah, it's coming. Yeah. Anyway, such a good game. Absolutely great. Lots of back and forth, and of course, lots of kabooms. And you gotta love kabooms, because I like saying kabooms. Anyway, 2 Monkey Woods on the western side. We have one of them moving eastward. That was built over here. Again, no Cybern facilities on the eastern side because he is UEF. He's going for shields, so a little bit more tankier of a comm. So no missile, sad. But he's going to be protected longer term. Team 1's kind of have TMD in place anyways. So unless he rushes Boo and Nuke and really hammers it home, I mean, maybe he'd get this. Maybe if he's lucky, he gets this, but he's definitely not getting that. So, we'll see. We'll see if he switches back. But if he's going for shield, it's highly unlikely. We do see a couple of his SACUs are running around. We do see the Monkey Wood using its secondary fire. Again, not very powerful, but it is poking at the bear. It's poking at the shielding, and that's a lot of asylums, to be honest. And I love it. I love more shield is better, but you got to have the firepower. If you just have all shields, then yeah, you can block a bunch of damage. But if you can't fire back, all your opponent has to do is just sit there and just keep shooting at you until your shields go down. So you got to have some weapons on board. We have a couple of SACUs for Team 1 in the pond. They've already taken some hits to the shielding. So the UEF, it's 16 and then 26,000. The Aeons, it's 15 and then 40,000. So 55,000 total versus 42,000 total. But as a reminder, the UEF Rambo presets have the AoE weapons. These ones, I believe, do not. I think these ones are just these are not the right player because they're both Aeon. That doesn't help. And it is the heavy personal shield, and then it's the increases range. Oh, it does have an AoE. Okay, never mind. Maybe it doesn't fire as fast? Maybe that's what it is. Anyway, we have 2 attacks going on. This one a lot bigger than the other one that looked like it was going to happen, but just didn't happen. We have bricks and a Monkey Lord. The chicken goes down. Strats inbound. They might one-tap it. He does try to move out of range a little bit. He doesn't take as much damage as it looks like, but still takes a ton of damage nonetheless. Monkey Lord is going to pop in the water for a little bit of time, but again, most of its body is still out of the water, so it's still easily targetable. Strat Bombers get another pass in. They don't kill it off for the they kill it off for the most part. The PD did help a ton in that, so a mixture of both. I was like, looks like it's going to be close. Oh, they got it anyway. 2 Monkey Lords on the western side. That is the wrong button. Moving in against really not really a lot of defensive line. There's 1 GC back there, but 2 monkeys versus 1 GC. The 2 monkeys are going to win every day of the week, unless the monkeys just don't move in into range of their main cannon. We do see Percy's are now here, but again, there's AA gunships. There's those air-to-ground firepower on those. We do have a couple of SACUs here, which are helping out a little bit. Starting to maybe wipe out all those PD lines at least, but it's just not looking great for Team 2. And again, now there's a set of reclaim there. Team 1 can scoop up their old one. We do see engineers are already inbound to scoop up said reclaim. And now we have those SACs starting to be focused down by the everything of Team 1. And that one's getting hit pretty hard by those PD emplacements. Might want to hit those. Again, the Oblivions do have a small little AoE on board, so they're able to target a couple of units if they're tightly packed close together. And it looks like those SACUs might survive a little while longer as the strats come to say hi. And apparently the Shockers have EMP weapons, which it doesn't say that they have EMP on board, but they definitely did that. So it would make sense given their name. Shockers usually means electricity, or it kind of has the connotation of electricity, or just being shock value. So that would, I'm just surprised that it doesn't actually label that for the information on said unit. Monkey Wood and Monkey Wood are destroyed. There's a chicken now here as well that probably severely leveled out the odds and heavily favored it for Team 1. They're like, nah, it's even now, and nope, now it's in our favor. Goodbye. Megawith is now pushing southward. We have a ton of air scouts inbound. I should just say scouts and spy planes, but they are technically called air scouts versus scouts on the ground, which actually do exist. Ooh, this is nice to see. Nuke has been thought about at a bare minimum for Team 2. Team 1 has an oh, no, that's a regular one. It looks like an SMD, but it's not. It is a nuke launcher, and of course it has to have its little, like, supporting arm, spider-looking thing pop out of the sides. Don't know why it has to do that. Aesthetic, I guess. Maybe it has an actual lore reason. Probably not, but you never know. One chicken is down. Monkeywood needs to move out of range of the Ion Storm. Megawood needs to keep backing up. Ion Storm will activate. Actually sends the back of that chicken. And now the Monkeywood may pond? Maybe? No? Now it's going... it's going to loop around. And that GC is going to turn and face it and kill that Monkeywood off. It was a nice attempt. It at least pulls one back a brief second. I feel like you might as well have pulled the Monkeywood back. Maybe trying to get back underneath some protection to get the reclaim back, but maybe not. We do see the GC still within range of that Mega. The Mega is now focusing on that one. Should have been focusing on that one initially. Shoot the one in range, and then shoot the other one not in range. Its weapons to you versus you into its weapons. SACUs are inbound. This, honestly, 14,000 hit points should be more than enough for those SACUs to deal with that. Eastern side, things are kind of quieted down, and looks like the SACUs are being targeted by those T1 bombers. Those aren't, they're literally just straight up being ground fired. That's unfortunate for them. Well, that one's moving now. SACUs are inbound. A couple of bricks are there. They haven't even taken out the shield yet on that one. They will now, but immediately after the Megalith is defeated. Nuke is still coming online. It is maybe a race to nuclear annihilation. So I guess it's a liberating of the apocalypse, I guess, because there's a liberator being the name of the nuke launcher for Team 2's Cybran side of things, and then the apocalypse for Team 1, and then it's the Hastue for the Seraphim, and then I think my personal favorite, the Stone Anger, because it's very matter of fact. It's just, I'm going to blow you back to the Stone Age. That's what I'm going to name the nuke launcher. And then I do like the Plan B name for the Cybran. It's like, well, if I can't use my regular nuke, I'll just use my Plan B nuke on this sub. So I feel like a lot of the names in this game are very well done. Shielding being built pretty much on time. Oh, doesn't have the power to run it. Ooh, that's not. Oh, that's still the wrong player. Oh, he's getting. Oh, it's back online now. That could have been very bad because it would have blown up at least the shield generator, that one, and then that one. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts targeting the exterior power, though. That's why he's building one over. And then on that western side, we do see the Monkey Lord holding position again. The Mega, I think the Reclaim's been favoring Team 1 pretty. 1,000%. It's 266 to 105. That is a decent amount to be ahead. I mean, that's keeping them in the... We are in the lead for mass totals because it's almost 200,000, almost, and that's 250,000 roughly. So they had lead for Eco for at least the initial about mid-ish game, and now Team 2 is in the lead. They are starting to catch up a little bit though. It's back and forth, but it's not that far behind, to be honest. So Team 2 is still trying. Oh, maybe power related fixes that a little bit, so maybe it's not as bad. We do have more shielding being built. Love to see it. SMD was targeted and is loaded. Good to see that. The SMD is useless if you can't actually fire the thing because it doesn't have an SMD missile in there to be able to actually shoot down the nuke that will be inbound. Which that nuke is being heavily assisted here for Team 2's Khal. Is there SMD up here? Nope. And nope. Is there a nuke up here? Yes, there is. Is the nuke loaded? Almost. Is there an SMD here? Yes, it is. And is it loaded? Oh, yep. Is there an SMD down here? No. I see this trend. No SMD here. SMD over here. What's that trend? I have no idea, but it's a trend because there's an SMD in that base, and there's an SMD not in that same base, but pretty gosh darn close. And then no SMD there. Oh, there's one there now. It just got built. Team 2, still no SMD. And that's not. Oh, did you scout? Oh, you didn't scout. Oh, that is unfortunate. And then Team 2 launches a nuke almost at the exact same time. Oh, that one's going to hurt because where's it going? They're going to try to trade. But again, the nuke wasn't built there. Is Team 1 even aware of that nuke launcher? They are not aware of that. That is unfortunate. Is Team 2 aware of it? Oh, yes, they are. And that nuke from Team 2 is shot down. SMD actually goes a little bit short and actually blows up the frontline base for Team 1's Ctrl-K. Kaboom! Oh, they were building a nice little Awasaw bomber. That is unfortunate. Team 1, I mean, they have an SMD online now, and they just go, nope, they're done. Blows up that frontline base, and that is it. Khal was surprised by that. I'm a little surprised by that as well. I feel like Team 1 wasn't... Oh, he's surprised with the fact that he won this. I feel like Team 1 did have some opportunities to maybe come back. Again, the SMD was coming online. The question is, would it have been loaded fat? Ooh. No. Wouldn't have been fast enough loaded. And then that would have probably targeted this base. Maybe would have gone after this one, but I feel like Team 2 is aware. They are aware of that, so they probably wouldn't have fired it over there. Maybe they would have landed on the front line there. That would have maybe opened the door for a land invasion, maybe. But either way you look at it, something's going to blow up, either that or that. And I will want to note, Team 2 never went for T3 air, and they won it. Just want to point that out. So having air does not mean you win the game. Having mass does not mean you win the game. It's all about strategy and using what you got. I still think Team 1 could have gone a little bit harder on the strats, or at least the air in general. Because, again, you have some strats up there. You have some strats here, and they could have easily, focused on this, could have focused on this, could have maybe gone this way. Had they scouted this, then the nuke probably... I mean, this one just got built. Again, could have gone for this down here, to be honest. You either target the opposing air grid as the air player, or you target something of very big value. Other nuke, artillery, game ender, very annoying front line, that sort of thing. So they probably would have tried to blow that up. And honestly, one shield, it was being upgraded to ED4, which would have been the T3 variant. But they could have easily blown that up, because that's at that capacity 10,000. And then there's pigeons next to these. That's only 3,000 health, so that's 2 strats, which would have blown these 2 up anyways. That's 3 strats. You're talking about 5, because that's, again, 10,000 plus 30.8 is 13.8. So, yeah, 5 would have been enough. Yeah, there's some AA in the area, but as long as you maybe approach, maybe even straight on this way, you'd be able to blow it up. You wouldn't want to go at an angle because there's more AA over here. But they could have blown that up. They really could have. I mean, there's not enough in one batch, but enough in both batches to blow that up. SMD would have been down. You would have blown that base up, or even shot this base and just nuked the nuke from Team 2, and then that would have been a win for Team 1. That base is dead. That SMD is down. That base is vulnerable. That base gets targeted again. Team 2's building this base, and then it's either boom or boom, and you blow, you're down to one base to deal with at that point. But anyway, I do feel like Team 1 could have stayed with it a little bit longer, but I think once they noticed that nuke, they're like, yeah, it's not worth it. Because, again, that nuke would have been loaded fast enough to be able to target this. If it went after it, blows up that, then it's just one base, and then boom, Bob's your uncle. That's the game. So anyway, let me know down in the comments what you think the MVP of the game was. Honestly, I think everybody did a very good job, at least those that survived towards the latter half of the game. I mean, both highest rated players on each team did the exact same thing as the other, so there was no kind of imbalancing in terms of, one player on Team 2 having double bases on that side of the map, which I think it should have gone over there, but that's my 2 cents on that. For both sides, to be fair. So I don't really have I do think, I will note, I think Team 1 definitely should have used their air. Again, they had, 100 plus ASFs here. They even had we own air stats or condition without Team 2 having air. So that would have been an easy win. So I don't know. I mean, Team 2 did go AA a little bit more, but you could have easily bombed that out. And yeah, they did target the base that had the bomber being built. That would have been big, considering that isn't even shielded, granted the power is offline. Could have been a good win for Team 1. I think they got unlucky with which base Team 2 targeted. So, again, let me know down in the comments. Thank you for listening to my rant at the very end of the video. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't, again, done so already, I don't know why not at this point in the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one.